check. Away from one.
All right, so it's planning and zoning that was calling for the 50-foot setback into it, correct? The way this is worded.
Yeah, they're the ones that basically said, yes, we want to keep going.
It wasn't our discussion, but.
No,
Okay.
we were going in the direction, from what I understood, was that we had quote unquote negotiated a 1.5 acre, 25 foot. And then when the vote came, that didn't come up. He did the same bid and
I'm good.
Very good. Okay, all those in favor say aye.
All right.
Aye, opposed, abstaining, motion passes. Okay. Item 3 is public comments, and so Chris Hedge, I'll turn it over to you for introductions and
would
tell us where we're going here, Steve.
on the ambassador, that's not. So, we have Art Shaler and Derek Peters. Art is coming in for a text amendment in the BT1 zone. It was filed, there's going to be a public hearing, I believe, on June 5th, so I wanted Art to come in and kind of discuss it. Derek had been with us previously, and so it is real, and I wanted Art to kind of talk about why it's important for the text amendment, and more importantly, the parcel of land that he's looking at.
Did you say, Chris, public meeting June 5th?
June 5th, yes.
Maps,
That's,
planning and zoning.
Planning,
is
yeah,
having
planning and zoning,
a public meeting, and all the abutters are getting notified.
yes, there is, you're gonna get notified for the June 5th meeting, yeah.
I don't know how much you wanna know, but, so. As you all know, our Subaru dealership sits on the corner of Frontage Road and Webster Square. Across from the movie theater, and that property is 3.5 acres with about 15,000 square feet of building. And, we are grossly undersized from a facility standpoint. We've squeezed 11 lifts into that building. It's really built for like 8. And Subaru requires me to have 29. Actually 21 lifts and 28 stalls or something like that. So I've been working on this for many years now with Derek and Chris, trying to find a piece of land where I could have additional parking so that I could add on to the building, because we like the location. And it's actually our 4th location in the last 20 years for Subaru, and I don't want to leave again because leaving stinks. So I've tried everything. I've talked to the movie theater 5 times. I've talked to Ocean State Job Lot. I've talked to Powerhouse Gym. You name it. I've talked to the people who might move. I've talked to the car wash on Webster Square, or is that Woodlawn or whatever
Woodlawn,
that
yeah.
road is? Talked to them. I've tried numerous things to try to find a piece of land. So much so I even looked at that 9 and 15 big 100-acre corner to put everything there at one point. But it's got infrastructure issues and so anyway, we landed on, what was it, the piece of property on the Brown Turnpike by the ABC there, had a contract there. But when they settled on the apartments, that land got precluded from our use. So then we moved on to, I tried to do a deal on the property on the, by the Webster Bank, on Farmington and Webster Square. We looked at it, and basically we're told you're never gonna get to make that parking. So then I called Chris and I said, look, Chris, I'm running out of options. So I need help, because if I don't come up with some parking soon, Subaru's they haven't pressed me hard yet, but they're starting to get mad at me for not having the lifts that I need. And I said, I gotta come up with something, or I gotta leave Berwick, because I can't stay here. I can't, they're gonna force me to sell or do something if I don't come up with an alternative. And that, Chris came to me, must have talked to some folks in town hall here or whatever, about, was it 1162?
Yes,
The old turnpike? So it's just south of the Dunkin' Donuts, the old gas station. They cleared it, there's gravel down there and whatnot. And he said, I think we can make that work with the town. And so I have that, Derek was able to work out a good deal for me. I have that property under contract. The problem is it's not zoned. I just need parking. I just need to put a place where I can put 150 cars. And then I can add on to my building. The plan is to essentially double the size of my building. But I can't do that without parking. So. The plan is to, Attorney Pentor has written up language, I believe it's already been submitted. And then the hearing is to basically amend the zone. I think the wording they came up with was to say that the zone would be allowed for vehicle inventory parking if associated with a new car dealership franchise. To try to avoid somebody just stuffing a salvage yard there, you know?
And I just actually grabbed it, I didn't have it before, so. New car automotive dealership auto storage lots. Lots can store inventory automobiles by a national brand licensed new car dealership. Located no more than 1 mile from the primary location of the dealership. The storage of vehicles and for repair of the dealership shall be prohibited. So I'm really saying, look, just for a national dealership to store new cars within. And it's been, as I said, a major challenge. The good news is, I don't think either of the other guys will, because they have large lots at this point, and the fact that it's written in a way and actually put together by Attorney Pentor in a way that fits our needs. And again, what would, if I could, I would say no, it's a beautiful lot. Subaru sign in front of the turnpike, I really what's been a waste of a piece of land for a very long time.
I mean, at first, I don't even need it right now.
Yeah.
But Subaru will never approve me adding onto the building and losing 25 parking spots if I don't have an alternate. I don't need them yet. We don't have the inventory yet, but it'll be coming. We were getting close, and then the tariffs just threw everything into craziness again for a little while here, so I don't need it yet, but I will need it.
Yes, Maureen took a look at it. It's gonna be coming in front of the commission. I have not gotten any particular feedback from her. We had sat down with her and kind of talked about kind of hashing through it with Attorney Pentor, so.
Oh, Rick was talking to her too.
Yeah, no, we've been.
We had a meeting with the mayor,
Yeah.
Maureen, and the Wetlands Commission.
Yep.
So we're not going cold, P and Z, more than
No, everybody knows of it. Yep, again, the commission does not have a lot of detail on it at this point, other than what Rick has kind of put forward. But really what I wanted to do was to have Art just kind of come in here and explain the fact that this is a method for future growth. Without it, it's not gonna be here, basically.
I have to go somewhere, you know, and the problem is with the car dealership, you can't just move them wherever you want. There's all kinds of state laws that govern how far you can move it and whether you penetrate somebody else's territory and all that kind of stuff. So there's really not a lot of, that's the problem, is there's only so many pieces of land that fit these circles that go around the dealership, and which is why parking makes the most sense. The problem is, I get it, nobody wants a parking lot, you know, the parking lots aren't pretty. But
It's only
the
cars.
question is, does Berlin want me to have a 30,000 square foot building and pay double the taxes? Or do you want me not to? It's really, that's kind of really where I'm faced with, is I need the space. And they won't let me split the facility. A lot of other franchises would let me open a service facility down the road or whatever. Subaru will not allow that. Has to be on the same piece of property.
Yeah, and then I can say for certain that, Vince Giordano, who's his general manager, has been probably the most generous guy in town for supporting the efforts on. There's a lot of stuff I do with the prizes and this donation. Every time Shayla's been at the table, so and that's just, you know, I know the same thing is true with schools and otherwise, and from a perspective of is this important above and just beyond the dealership? Absolutely. It's a relationship that has been created and but before that,
We try to be a good citizen.
So we talked about this a couple of years ago. I didn't sense any resistance from our commission, not that we're not negatively advisory. But one of the things we did talk about is fencing. We don't want to fence you because, you know, they leave it wide open, that's so they come in there 15 years of that's.
Well, when we met with the mayor and Maureen, You know, I said, I'll do whatever you guys want. I mean, if you, I mean, personally, I'd rather not have a fence because fences create problems sometimes. But what I really want is I need lights, and I need power to power Wi-Fi for my cameras. And then monitored cameras that can call the police if somebody penetrates the lot. Now, if for beautification, a fence is wanted, I'll put a fence up. You know what I mean? I'll do whatever the town wants me to do to get this done. I need it. So as far as I'm concerned, you guys want a white picket fence, I'll put a white picket fence around it. You want no fence, you want all poles, you want a wood fence, I don't care. I need parking, so whatever you guys need me to do, I'll do it.
So that's interesting,
Yeah.
because I had looked at it as a way to protect the, the cars and lot criminals. But you don't need a fence for that, you would have.
Well, I'm not saying I don't need one, but I'm not opposed to it, but I'm not also saying I gotta have it, like my outlook on it is, if the town doesn't want a fence, then I don't need a fence. If the town wants a fence, I need a fence. If it's up to me whether there's a fence, we're gonna put cameras first and see, because I think it looks better. Without a fence, you know, and I think if people drive by and see cars lined up, at least it's worth looking at, you know, but if we need a fence, if we find that we're having some issues, it is the Berlin Turnpike. I know the mayor said, I think you need a fence. You know, because of fast on, fast off, right?
You know, they go over fences, they go through them.
Yeah, I know.
Your
I know,
cameras and.
believe me, I know.
But I think fence also helps with domestic, this is like on used cars versus brand new cars, because usually fence. Properties, but they sell used cars, so I think I'm making with no fence, it's just something that is gonna be looking good, but not.
Well, I like his white picket fence idea.
I like it.
I mean, listen,
low.
a fence does deter, it doesn't stop. You know, because we fenced our body shop after a bunch of theft, and we've had no theft since we put that up. There, but it didn't stop it down the street. You know, we got monitored cameras that call the police the second you cross. If even a customer crosses the parking lot when we're not there, police get called, the police show up.
Oh,
And that still doesn't stop them, because the thieves are just too good. If they want wheels, they're gonna have the wheels, because they can have them gone before the police can get there. Unless the officers a quarter mile up the road, they're gonna be gone before you get there.
Did you have any thoughts, Art, about any signage that location?
Well, surprisingly, I was thinking that the town wouldn't want signage, but after our meeting with the mayor, it sounds like not only would they be open to it, they want me to put a sign there to help support it as affiliated with a new car franchise. So I will happily put a sign up there. Subaru would love for me to put a sign on the road. I'm sure they would.
Look at that, bring all that shit, rock and roll, how big?
You know.
Yeah, well, I think like if I was the owner of the business, I'd say, hey, it's like a billboard to the world, like,
Yeah.
because, frontage street is not like. Traffic goes by, but if you're just turnpiking it every day.
Yeah.
You don't know the Subaru dealers, do you? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So if it said Subaru of Berlin, Woodmore, or, something, I don't know.
no, the thing I have to be careful of is motor vehicle does not require it to be licensed as long as there's no operation. So I gotta make sure I don't do anything that makes it look like I'm operating it. It's
Right.
just storage, right? If we need to show somebody a car, we go pick it up and bring it back to the dealership and bring the customer there.
Yeah.
Right? Because if we're showing the cars to customers on the property, then D&B is gonna make me get a license. And it would have to be a separate
I got off
license.
channel in the back over there.
Absolutely, right?
Yeah, oh,
You know,
yeah.
this is really. Really I just need to add on a building. I mean, I even explored building a parking garage.
Parking.
I looked at those Carvana. Jukeboxes for cars. And, the problem is those are a lot of money. If land's available, those are just expensive. I mean, a parking garage is $25,000 a parking spot, roughly, for concrete, ugly, gray monstrosity. And then those jeweled ones are like, they work out to like $9,000 a car. But you can do 4 high. I have a plan drawn up if I don't succeed to where I would do that on the property. It'll cost about 2.5 times what this would cost. But if I have to, I gotta have lifts. I mean, I got work for 25 technicians and I only got 11. And I need And we turn customers away because we just can't get them in time.
Let me ask about, Chris, will Art or Mr. Pennington have the opportunity to pitch the PNC?
Yes, yeah,
The night of the public hearing, are they on the agenda?
Yes,
Yes.
yes,
Okay.
yeah.
So let me ask you another question. Will you have a rendering of that lot with cars as someone would see it from the turnpike? Because if you ask me and you show them a 4x6 rendering of what it would look like, you put the cars in, you put the white picket fence, you put nice signage, I think that will sell. Help
I agree
you
with that.
sell your project a lot faster than P and Z saying, oh, a lot with cars. You know what I mean?
Well,
If you had a big rendering the size of that screen up there that said, hey, this is what the lot's gonna look like when you drive by. And have somebody make it up nice.
really, when people think of cars on the turnpike, they think of all of these cars. Dealerships that they're right on the highway, they.
Well, I was gonna have a board prepared with the rendering of the building, because essentially, this is what I was been saying to Chris for a long time, is this isn't just the parking. You gotta picture this as Chandler Subaru becomes 30,000 square feet.
Right.
That's really what we're trying to,
That-
that's what this is for,
That
right?
doesn't hurt to have that there too.
But, right, so,
This pretty lot will give us.
yeah, I'll talk to the
Right.
architect about doing
Yeah.
both of those.
Yeah.
For there's plenty of time to.
I think you're right, Dave, especially because the commission tends to be very detail oriented on what things look like.
Just make.
It might be faster if I can get him to do it, just if he does it electronic, and then it's just displayed.
I mean, or
That might be faster.
I could take it and just make it to 11x17 and have it as part of the.
I'll call him, I'm gonna see him tomorrow.
If it looks pretty.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things on tournament that look like crap for me.
Yeah.
So if you make it like, and P and Z looks at this thing and say, what a nice job, it doesn't look like an 8-foot chain link fence with razors at the top, that's just, you know what, that's what they're gonna think.
Yeah.
You wanna know, that's what they're gonna
That's what
think,
it is. This is what it is, it's not, nobody has to imagine what it's gonna be.
that's what they're gonna think,
I
right?
can
on
do
the
that.
trail.
That's easy.
Because when we started talking about fence tonight with you, I said, well, it's gonna, fence. Now, you're telling me, why not even need a fence? So,
Just need good lights.
yeah,
Criminals don't like good, well lit.
so, if you show P and Z something
There you go.
else,
The only thing that might be concerned is the, flooding the light to the properties in the back.
No,
I'll
bank
depend how
all the
far,
way up.
are they up, I'll tell you.
My aunt lives at the top of the property, actually.
Mhm.
And I went up there and figured it out. There's no way that light's gonna shine up here, especially with the new lighting, the way that it's designed, it's really.
The only reason I say
it's
is, I live on
pretty
a corner
focused
of
light.
Sunset in Worthington Ridge,
that
the
won't
guy
bother
down
that.
below with his lights, I can see him all night.
Yeah, so
He
you're
has
on,
no buffer,
who's the, yeah,
that's it.
I wouldn't wanna live in that little bend, is that what you're talking about? Those two buildings?
No, right up at
Yeah, my
the,
brother lives on Sunset.
right, it's right at the top, of it, on the corner of Sunset and Worthington Ridge, actually, my barn is on
Oh, yeah.
Sunset. And when I'm in the house, his lights, I can see them all night long, and there's no buffer, there, that's one.
Yeah, well, this has got all kinds of trees and
Right.
It's
vegetation.
all that woods, all
Yeah.
that woods that are
It's
behind.
not
the
got
house.
that buffer zone, and
Yeah,
that would
it's-
be the other
It's beautiful. I love it.
concern.
so
I
if
wish
it's
I had
gonna
that
be a
buffer.
paved parking lot,
Our plan is to leave it the way it is, I mean, because when they cleared it last, it's got a nice, like, it's almost like it's almost like whatever you call the stuff they put right on the top.
Three planes.
Yeah.
planes,
Oh, yeah, the millings, yeah.
Yeah, so it's,
It's
I don't need
nice,
more
yeah.
than that.
That stuff works good and lasts for a long time. Probably month of that is us, do you remember that?
I'm sorry, I don't find this to be development. And I know the position you're in, I may be out of my place saying this, but that doesn't do anything for the town. That's a waste of commercial property for the town. Now, I understand the position you're in. And as far as I'm concerned, and I'm not a regulatory person. Again, we're advisory. But if you're not gonna dress that up to make it look presentable, and you're just gonna store cars there, that's for your advantage and to no one else's advantage. Just being honest with you.
Well, the present zoning allows for no maintenance or any other kind of car detailing or anything like that. But there was a building in the past, you know. I mean, I think that just like, 20 years ago, you couldn't do it. Sometime in the future, they probably will change their zoning and allow something like that. I've seen a lot of change,
I mean, and I think what we talked about as well, it could be potentially a building, detailing, et cetera.
It could end up being, additional operation down the road. I don't know. I'm just trying to achieve what I need to achieve now. Without having to go buy land somewhere else cause I can tell you in Berlin, there's nothing. So I'd have to go to New Britain and try to find something there. I know that the construction place across the street, the older route, I know he's gotta be looking to do something soon, so I could potentially end up there at some point, but that doesn't. That's too far down the road. But
I think everybody's up to good point.
But it does add something,
Yeah.
it does about building and the building actually, it does do something to the town, bring that something tax out.
But my point is, if P and Z is just thinking about this lot, there's a gravel millings lot, and just cars bucket. They're not gonna get real excited about it, in my opinion. That's why I told you, put it to a rendering, make the whole thing, make it somehow pretty for that. With nice signage that doesn't look like it's like on 95, some nice New Englandish type signing. So put a white picket fence if you need something.
I can do that.
Just to make it look like, I always talk about this, when plant conservation and development talks about small New England village of 13 times. It's all in there, it is, so if you can make it pretty in New Englandish versus, I know it's term, right? But you gotta sell this, because if they think just millings, gravel and cars. I'm not sure how far.
I think we're gonna be happy with the rendering.
And do you have any thoughts, like, that will satisfy both ends? Do you have any thoughts? You've been here for a long time.
Yeah, I understand, I mean, we're all businessmen and we try to not spend money when we don't have them. But I'm just thinking, this is not going to be something that he's gonna park these cars there for 2 years, and then when something's completed, they're all gonna be moved out. This is permanent, okay? Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the bigger you get, the better it is. But unless you're gonna make this look like a real parking lot with curbing and asphalt and lighting, you're gonna need lighting anyway, as you talked about. It's not going to look right, and that's what we're concerned about is you're actually taking a piece of property that eventually can be developed and generate taxes for this town. That your inventory is not necessarily gonna do that. So how are you gonna sell this, that it's still gonna benefit your business, you're gonna accomplish what you need out of it, but we're not just gonna have a parking lot, you're throwing your cars there. I'm just, really, this is realistic. And otherwise, I'm sorry, it's gonna look like hell.
You think it's gonna look like that?
Absolutely,
I think it looks like hell right now.
it does. Oh, it does.
I think.
It's been for sale for 5 years, nobody's made an offer on it. So I think it's gonna look like that for a while.
I think the county zoning commission is good.
I think you're right,
Hard to make it look.
if you put fencing up, nobody will know that it's not paved. If you put a nice white fencing
I
on it,
guess.
nobody will even know.
You know what, Art, as I sit here. We understand this, but most of us. You've told us, you've been calling us, you've been job lot, been moving house, the car, you've been everywhere. And you've indicated to us, hey, I was able to strike a pretty decent deal on the turnpike, so. If you can, and I don't know what the dollar amount it is to make it X, to sell it, I don't know what that costs you, but if the site really works for you, and all you gotta do is make it somehow pretty. Versus just millings and a lot. And they just.
I'm certain if I tell the architect to come up with a rendering that'll look pretty and sellable, he'll find a way to do it. And that's his job.
And then P and Z will review that and say, hey. There's some good ideas, we want to tweak this, tweak that. But I think that he's right, if it's just an open lot, no fence and cars on gravel. You know, okay, they're not.
Well, the base is already there. That's what they put down on the highways when they were stripping it, and it's pretty much like that.
Did you
Right
test that?
over that.
Did you test that?
Did I test it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was tested.
I mean, you drove on it and so forth? Because
Absolutely.
I watched, okay, I'm not,
Yeah, no,
I'm not against you,
Well,
don't get me wrong,
I know.
okay?
tell me what.
It was just put there, it wasn't rolled or nothing, it was dumped and spread. Now, it might have settled enough over the years, because it's been there like that for probably 2-3 years now.
I think it was 2021 is when we did it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
4 years. since
Yeah.
the milling's been done.
And
It's matured.
I look at it as well, I mean, this is going to be something that. Art and the Schiller family is going to, I don't think they're going to leave it. To look correct. And again, I think combination of the pride of it, and again. You've got. Get your card, $25,000 times 100 cards. It's a lot of inventory, and I think that we can hopefully find a middle ground where it will.
Yeah, but look, if business goes back to 2019 levels.
Yep.
That lot's not gonna be enough. I'm gonna
Right.
need more. So, you know, it just depends on where the business goes, but if the factories go back to building the way they were building before COVID. You know, it wasn't uncommon for us to have 250 cars in inventory, and we just put them on the property. You know, but,
How much area has the millings on it now?
it's the maximum that's even usable. So that parcel actually, the site I'm buying is 6 acres, but there's only like, it's not even 2, it's like an acre and, you know.
Okay, so nothing else can be filled, whatever's
No.
filled now,
Right,
it's already maxed out.
right, it's pretty maxed out with the wetlands lines and,
Yeah,
and all that
Yeah,
kind of
you
stuff.
get back to the parking lot. It's not so much what qualifies the parking lot for the milling, it's that base underneath. And they just put that milling under.
I mean, look,
Still never.
I don't want my car sinking in the ground, so if that happens,
Your
that's.
biggest cost is gonna be in the base,
You know,
underneath that asphalt. Your asphalt
I
is
haven't-
going to be the cheapest part.
We haven't even checked that, because this is just the first piece of
I
property.
did.
I mean, we've been doing this now for what? It's gotta be 8 years now. We've been talking about different properties. I've gone back to the movie theater, like 3 different times over 5 years. Because every time you call, you get somebody different who says, oh, call this guy, he might be able to.
Yep.
I'm sitting there like, you guys have 1,200 parking spots, sell me 200 of them. But they won't do it. They won't do it.
I don't mean to push, but I do have somebody else, in favor of public comments, I
Okay.
don't wanna make it push too much, but, any last questions?
check the base, seriously, okay, because they put those millings down, because they didn't have to cut their lawn anymore. They wanted to look.
Give me like 2 minutes, Emily, we'll get you on.
Don't worry, we're gonna have to check it if we don't
Okay.
approve
They
it
don't want
before we
you
do
to-
anything anyway.
I don't want them to come and bite you after, you know, you've been in business long enough, you know.
Well, even as, you know, you sort of that. People go by and they know if the lot looks dumpy and crappy, that tells them. Yeah, it automatically, that they're a sloppy dealership, even though people know you know
Yeah,
different.
no, it's, we're not.
Most
gonna
of what
do
you
it.
have going there are transit, going through, doing, back and forth to work. That's why some of the properties.
I think it's gonna be top notch.
Yep, so you said you may be away, but you're working.
So this year, this is.
Yeah, I don't know, I don't know until we get.
We're special stores too, I mean, they do also like us, they have a rental village.
If I'm away, I'm gonna have my father come.
Yeah, just give her my cell, that way if you're not, so get in touch and connect with me.
I'll let you know as soon as I know.
Awesome.
The area that's there is, kind of just like right here.
I'm familiar with the piece.
Okay,
Yeah, all right.
what were you asking? That's the only part that was, that's, you know, pavement, I never really know.
Yep.
And up.
I didn't know, I know there's 6 acres there, I didn't know if another acre was dry
It
enough.
seems little by little, they're tearing off,
Whatever
they're
is
starting to
filled
put back
now
on again, and
is
they're-
it's max.
That's
Steel's supposed to
That's
start
what,
going.
they've already gone through this whole
This week.
process.
How are you?
Their own, but the.
Were you here for conservation?
They're
commission?
opening the lot.
Oh, no, this is economic
So
development.
I went down to Wozniak.
I really didn't know.
Property's clean, whatever you said.
I mean,
You know, it was good.
I was like.
So
it was
I
like
take my steps.
Oh, that's
We're here
awesome.
now.
Yeah, we were very proud to dedicate this in his
Oh,
honor.
yeah, exactly, so. So, as I said, I buried them,
Oh, wow, yep.
Thank you all for your time.
Thank you so much.
All right, any comments?
You're heard of, it's, you know, like, again, we're advisory, we're trying to sort of like.
Yeah, no, I
give
appreciate
you
it.
ideas, you're heard of P and Z, not us, but.
Yep. Alrighty.
It's
Thank you guys. We'll be in
Thanks for
touch.
your
Emily, I don't know if you want to take yourself off mute.
Okay, I'm here.
All right, I don't know. We're having some minor technical issues. I don't know if you could talk and if I will be able to hear you or not.
I'm off mute now. Can you hear me?
Okay, we're not hearing you. Hold on a second. Audio.
Can you hear me now?
All right, try to speak again.
Hello?
Son of a biscuit. We're just
We're just-
great here.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah.
Oh, and I hear a baby.
Oh, yeah.
Alrighty.
I don't know.
Alrighty, so Emily, let me give a quick little background here. So, I've been talking to Emily for some time. She is looking to occupy the building at the bottom of the street, the old circuits building there, owned by Beatman. That sits at the bottom of the hill here. That has become a huge challenge, tough building. She would like to open a doggy daycare, so coming in for a use variance, I'm going to ZBA at the end of the month. So Emily, you have the floor if you want to talk a little bit about kind of what you're looking to do.
Yeah, so I've been looking for a couple of years now for a space for a dog daycare, and the part of that building on the right is really ideal for it because it's very open. It's kind of like a cavernous space, so it would allow space for the dogs, obviously. And in talking with some of my clients in the area, and if you know Janet and Dirty Dogs, they seem to think the people in town would really have a use for it because the closest ones are like Newington and I think Middlefield. And we would be just daycare. There would be no overnight boarding, open, closed by the nighttime, so nobody would be there late. Anything specific?
Yep, no, that was a perfect overview. So the good thing too is the building itself is on a lot, and then there's two adjacent lots to the right that basically just Mother Nature's taken over. So there can be parking on the right. And the good news about it is, unlike many businesses, it's going to be a drop off in the morning, pick up in the afternoon. So really just a couple different parking times a day. It is in a general industrial zone, and that building really doesn't have any function for most industrial uses because of either the ceiling heights or the like, plus the fact that I think if it's an 18-wheeler, it'd probably be backing up both lanes of traffic. I just wanted to kind of get the commission's feedback on it. I know my thought was the only thing that probably goes behind Berlin Sports is probably people's dogs in town. And I think it is a great location for it, and it's been a challenge. I know they've been working with an agent for at least 2 years, and I've had very, very few bites on this one.
What percent of the circuits building would you occupy, Emily?
So I don't know the percentage, the portion I would start with, because as the business grows, I can always expand to the other side, but that one portion is 8,000 square feet. And I believe the whole building is 20,000.
Well, it's interesting. So the whole building is about 30,000 square feet, but it's a big, probably about 10,000 square feet mezzanine. So it's probably just about half the building she's gonna have on the ground floor, because the mezzanine is counted as square footage, even though it's just a mezzanine.
Right.
Really about 50%, and then the idea potentially would be doggy training. There's a lot of different things she could potentially do, but really having the doggy daycare as the primary piece to get the business up and running.
What is the capacity of, I don't even know how to say it, what's the capacity of?
The number of dogs?
That
Sure.
you can take in 8,000 square feet, is it 20 dogs or 200 dogs?
So the general rule of thumb for daycares is about 40 to 70 square foot per dog. I'm more comfortable at 50 to 60. And of course, some of the building would be reception, some of it's already taken up by bathrooms and whatnot. So I believe it was about 6,000 square feet, which ends up being, I think, 90 something dogs, but I'm more comfortable around 60 to 65.
And then, do the dogs go in a cage or they just run around and play with each other indoors all day?
So they play with each other all day. I would love to talk to the town about maybe fencing an area so they can get some fresh air as well. Like if you're looking at the building on the right side, which I think is the south side, there are some doors. So you could create a little fence yard there. But for the most part, they're running around with each other. There would be kennels in a situation where a dog needs a rest or maybe they have to eat, maybe they're required a diet or they're just tired. But no, they're out all day. I mean, they tend to regulate themselves, so we don't have to force them to stop.
And Emily, is there any concern when the trains go by? Like, I don't know if dogs get upset because the train tracks are right there. Will the dogs get upset like at the vibrations or I don't know.
I think yes. And I think some will.
Oh.
But they tend to, like with anything, with repeated exposure, you sort of drown it out after a while. We heard it several times inside the building and I didn't think it was like shockingly loud. That's a problem I think some dogs won't be able to overcome, but most will.
Bathroom times, like if they're there for 8 hours, what we do for bathroom times? Do we take them outside? Are they gonna be pooping and urinating outside by the building?
Or inside.
Or inside? How this is normally
Work.
I have no idea.
So it's a combination of both. I'd love to have the outdoor area because most dogs are trained to go out. Some dogs are just gonna do what they please. So in that case, we buy the appropriate, sanitizing machines, and we have to do that every day.
So on the south side, there's property that's not wet, that is going to be cleared for a parking area? Okay.
We haven't, the owner and I haven't exactly decided.
But it's feasible.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, because I think that lot extends further on the south side than any of the other perimeters. So that would make the most sense.
Yeah, I'm attempting to pull up an aerial view right now, just so you get an idea of kind of what we're looking at here, just from the perspective.
Emily, I have one more question. Is there like a typical drop-off time and pickup time?
Yes, 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. are the most popular morning times, and then 4 to 6:30 for the evening.
It would basically have to be the same type of design as a daycare, right?
Yep. So if you look here, and I apologize, Maggie, it's kind of behind you here.
Yeah.
So the building is here. There's a large area here, which could be parking and maybe a fenced in area right here. And then there's also a second lot that's down here. So I think there can accommodate plenty of parking here, both for her use and for a future use, because really the property line is essentially right here. So really, we're looking at, oops, sorry, I probably should share this, I apologize. For everybody that's in.
I guess the other question is, does the zone allow this?
Yes, that's a.
Industrial is the only zone in town where you can go for a use variance, which is 11. So essentially, instead of going in for a text amendment, which then would allow anywhere in the zone, we're basically saying a use variance just for this property because the nature of the property, its location, the fact that it's essentially almost obsolete from an industrial perspective at this point.
So this is going to be kind of rent, not what?
At the moment, yes, it's going to be rent. Long term, we're not 100% certain.
Site plan, how come only?
Yeah, no, I know. Yeah, I guess the other thing is, would most of your, I know you said there's a Newington and Middlefield. doggy daycare place. And, you know, great for Berlin residents, because there's a, you know, close place to bring your dog, that's good, but I suspect that you'd be pulling from, you know, half a dozen different towns, Emily?
I believe so, because you have the southern border of Newington is very close by. And then the like, you know, the Walnut Hill area of New Britain is very close by. And I would also assume some people even traveling from like Meriden or Southington, if it's on their way to work, might. But yeah, I mean, the other daycares are waitlisted as it is, so I think you might even pull from people wanting to go there.
To answer your question, Ed, if the use variance is approved, they'll then have to go for site plan approval. So there is a second step involved in this. So it isn't just use variance and you're in. And we had a large discussion about this, and this seemed to make the most sense with this route between Emily, the property owner, et cetera, to kind of get there, because it is, you know, it is a weird building. I mean, essentially, it went from a manufacturing building to being nothing but family storage for decades.
Can we approve the concept?
Yeah, essentially just looking to, approve the concept, and then Emily will come back, once this is done. Gonna work very closely with her and the property owner. Again, there is a lot of pieces that are in play.
Yeah.
So you're looking for us to approve the concept tonight?
Yeah, just looking for a vote of confidence on it to go to the zoning board of appeals.
Yeah, I don't know enough about it yet.
Sewer septic.
I do not know, I mean.
Because, yeah, I'm wondering, all those years if it's on septic and then you get the dog waste and stuff.
Yeah, I do not know.
And then I'm thinking about traffic, you know, you're talking another, let's say 90 cars in the morning, because if you have 90 dogs, was the max you said. You got 90.
I said 60,
No,
but
yeah, 60 is what she.
Well, 60, but you could get
Still 60 cars.
60 cars, and 60 could turn to 90, you know, if you're waitlisting everyone and, you know, they want, you know.
But that would come under site plan approval.
Right, but for me, at that site, you know, I guess I don't know yet. Maybe you guys could sell me, I don't know.
So at this point, you have no plan on outside fencing and stuff for the dogs, right?
I don't have a plan because I don't know what we're allowed to do.
But if you were allowed, it was something that you would pursue.
Yes.
You know, I don't have a problem with the use really, it's the site, you're a little constrained by the site. You know, there's not much parking, you might use that, I don't know enough about it.
I'm trying to visualize the drop off point.
Yeah.
You know, it have to be a circular thing that they would come in, stop, someone would take the dog and they would keep moving.
Like a drive-through.
Yeah,
You definitely don't have enough room out front.
Yeah, I don't know.
you know,
Yeah, and again, and that's really where the site plan will be the key piece of the puzzle, which is the flow of traffic.
okay,
Without a
so
doubt.
what actually do you need from us tonight?
I mean, if you think it,
Concept or-
yeah, I mean, if you think it makes sense, it's a good use, it can go there, great. If you're not sure, then that's fine. I wanted to present it to you guys just to mention that this is an avenue that I'm working with Emily on at this point, and more than anything else, just to give you guys a heads up, because if it is approved, the site plan will come through, you'll get a
Yeah.
chance to look at this for.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's good for storage, that building.
Yeah, and
Well,
The way it's designed, that's it.
here's the issue with storage, which is a good use. You're not gonna invest a couple $1 million in somebody else's building, because he's not gonna sell it tomorrow. And so that's the only real use I think that makes sense, but it's not gonna happen, because Matt is not gonna sell it in day one, and we've had this discussion.
He doesn't wanna sell
You
it.
can't.
No, not in day one. I mean, would he sell it long term? I think he would, but he's not gonna sell it tomorrow, and nobody's gonna make a big investment into somebody else's building.
Can't use it for manufacturing.
No.
Cause you're 30,000 square feet, you need 60 parking spots, or you can get 60 parking spots, I think.
Well, that's part of the argument with the use variance, which is 60 spots for manufacturing, 31 spots for warehouse use. So I mean, it is, and it's something where,
One spot.
and I mean, and so one of the things that Emily and I have been talking about is. I know of at least one in West Hartford and one in Bristol, both in industrial parks. This is where they tend to locate doggy daycares. And we're gonna be looking at, once we get further along in the process, to see what others have done with parking. Because I'm gonna guess there's no regs out there that say doggy daycares do X. So they're really based upon what the need is at that point. So there's still a lot of work to be done, but really the first step here is having the use allowed there. Then that begins the process with Emily and myself and with the property owner to work out the specifics, whether it's the outside area, the parking, etc.
Yeah, the thing is, if we sit here, for me, I'll do whatever you guys want to do. It's hard for me to endorse this tonight because there's a lot of issues that I'm not really, that I don't know about. It's the septic part, it's the drop off part. And I would say that, what I would say is EDC is not saying no tonight. Like there are times where we like, you know, you get the vibe, you get the vibe from us, like it's gonna be like, we're not gonna support you. We may not go on record as saying it, but we're not gonna support you. But I don't think that, from what I'm hearing from the commissioners, that anybody is opposed yet or sold yet. So I think it's better if we just table it and we do nothing. But if you guys wanna have some sort of vote, you can, but I don't think I can,
I'm with you.
I don't think I can.
Now, we're not looking, we're just talking about that site, we're not talking about that particular zone, correct?
Yes, that's it.
Okay,
Yeah, it's just.
cause this thing could work, but we don't have enough information yet. There's too many unanswered questions.
For me, I think that would be nice to do something with this building.
Yes.
It's an eyesore and it's sitting there for so long unused. From another hand, we don't want something to looking like the Berlin Turnpike where the doggies, where it's just sad and depressing and you don't even wanna go there, bring a dog. So we want something, and that may lead, if this is gonna be turning into successful business, which dogs right now is a big thing. I mean, grooming and anything with dogs industry is just prediction very high. So maybe the owner eventually will want to sell and they're gonna expand it. And also with the driving and the parking lot, we have to know how long it takes for the owner to get out from the car, bring the dog. Maybe we don't need as many parking because they're not gonna be parking there for a long time. They're just gonna, here doggy, ciao, I'm leaving. So it's 5-10 minutes, whatever, I don't know. So maybe the parking is not such an issue because they're not gonna be like, oh, baby, you don't cry. You know, with the child, okay.
We're gonna change it.
Oh,
No. No, yeah, well, and maybe what makes the most sense is I can work with Emily on use variance. And then when the site plan itself is put together, come back to the commission to have a better idea exactly what, kind of how it flows, how it's working, and then have a better idea at that point.
Some more information, I think we'll help.
Yeah, something more solid.
We're not against the concept.
Yeah, no, and I think it's still, you can tell me if I'm mistaken here, Emily, it's still to some degree a moving target on exactly what's gonna happen between Emily and the property owner right now as well. So there is nothing concrete set except that the application's in for the use variance. That's as far as we've gotten. And definitely can come back to you guys at this point. But I'm gonna, without a doubt, work closely with Emily because it has a lot of merit for a business use, for a challenging building, and alrighty, well, Emily, I appreciate you coming on tonight. I will stay in touch with you as we kind of move this along, but I appreciate you giving an idea, and then once you get a little further along, we can come back to the commission with kind of the flow. And I know you and I talked about it. That's still kind of up in the air exactly how that's going to work.
Can I ask a question?
Of course.
Would I be able to get the list of questions that the committee has? You mentioned a few things, but could I get that in writing somehow so I can answer those things?
Yeah. Let me get those questions together. I can definitely get those to you.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
of course. No, thank you.
And the other thing too, Emily, I wanna tell you is, you don't have to come back to economic development. She doesn't have to come back here if she doesn't want to. You know, we're advisory only, Emily, you know, some people come to us to kick ideas around. You could go right to planning and zoning. You could bypass us. You've talked to us tonight, or you could come back and give us some answers to the questions that Chris Edge is gonna give you, and then possibly we'll endorse it, and then you go to P and Z. But you're not required to come to economic development.
Okay, I still like to hear, you all brought up some good points, so. You know,
Yeah,
it's nice to get the feedback.
We could possibly have some suggestions for you that are going to make your business flow better.
Mhm.
And so we would be glad to, you know, look into that too for you.
Okay, thank you so much.
Of course, yeah, I started a list, Emily, let me get them together, I'll get an email over to you, and then you and I can always regroup either in person, by phone, et cetera, and kind of go through some of these.
Thank you.
No, thank you so much, have a good
Good
night, I appreciate it.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
You know what I was just thinking? Like sometimes, you know, you see people, they park their car and they open the door, the dog jumps out and the road is close there. Now, might these dogs just jump out and go out Kensington Road? I don't know. I'm just thinking, like, I've seen plenty of time.
It's the sidewalk over there, so.
Is there a sidewalk
Yeah,
there?
it is.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Okay, so drop off and the flow, how that's gonna kind of work, parking, outside area, where might that be?
The pooping area.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Septic,
poop,
yes, septic or sewer, I don't know what's there.
Yeah, I mean, what are you gonna do with the waste?
Yeah.
You're gonna go down the system or is there
septic,
something?
sewer, poop, pee.
How they gonna, where they gonna be, how they
Is
gonna
there
dispose,
waste?
how often they gonna be cleaned? Cause people walking on the side, they don't want like big stench comes out of.
Stop the dog from charging, put a sign on it.
I think only if I look at
They have about 10 hydrants.
the houses on the other side of the track. So. If some of them are gonna be in a gated area, they're gonna go outside, it might be excessive as far as barking.
Oh, yeah, right. There's people's right across the road.
I don't know, with the tree tracks, it may not
Yeah, that might
affect
be
that
minor,
much, maybe a buffer.
Yeah,
that's minor, but.
Yeah, people say, well, you said train, but if you listen to the dog bark all damn day.
Yep. Yeah, okay, so the flow and drop off, parking outside area, whereabouts. I'm writing who P as in destination, where it's gonna end up. Sewer, septic, and then how often you're gonna be cleaning the inside, you know, if you guys can think of the.
those outside, how often they, because if they're gonna go outside to poop, how often that gonna, because that gonna be, that's
That's it, right?
if they pee and poop, that's gonna be a stench.
Yeah,
Especially the pee in one area, what is that going to do? You know, if you have one or two dogs, it could disappear.
60.
we'll have another
Thing in the.
bright feeds, we'll have another bright feeds with the
Yeah,
odor
there you go.
carry it all over.
Alright, we're good with this.
Yeah.
Well, you can have that with the hen field, you can have a manure pond, right?
Oh, yeah.
That's crazy.
Do we have any other public comments tonight?
Nope, that's it for public.
What about carrier? My carrier.
Carrier, I was not able to make it this evening. They are working on it at this point. The big issue was and again, he apologized that he could not make it tonight. He's got a couple of kids himself, but he
Okay.
definitely wants to come in front of us still and still make something happen.
All right, well then let's go to Ford and abatement.
For abatements, yes, so Bundy ended up expanding the building, they doubled the size of it, about another 5,000 square foot storage building, just looking for the tax abatement on that, which would be 3-year, 50, 40, 30.
So what happened is he built 5,000 square feet first. Did we give him an abatement on that?
We did.
We gave him an abatement on the first 5, and then he added 5 adjacent it and connected it.
Yep, right next to it.
And this is what schedule? I didn't listen to you, I'm sorry. 5-year, 3-year?
Probably 50, 40, 30.
Yeah, 50, 40, 30 is what it is for years.
50,
The investor did make.
40, 30%, 3 years. And did he get his CO already? Or
Yeah, no, he's got a CO and he's currently using it for his
CO is? So it fits the abatement language. He's built it, he's got a CO, he's invested enough money
He's
Yes.
invested a lot of money in stuff.
There we go, okay. So,
I make the motion to approve the.
okay, Maggie, second the motion, any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, abstained, motion passes. Good,
And Mr. Capola has joined the meeting. He is on by Zoom.
okay,
Text Amendment Art Shaler, I don't know if you guys were taking any action tonight. If not, that's fine, not a problem. If it's up to you, guys. If you do agree.
I wouldn't.
I would like to see a little bit more about what he's doing there with, the presentation. When he said he was gonna do the mill, I was kind of disappointed.
Yeah, I know.
I was expecting a well-lit parking lot, organized lines,
Yeah,
the whole 9 yards, professional, not, like the other car dealerships that we got.
Yeah, I mean, it is gonna be a special permit, so he is gonna be held to a very high standard. If this is approved, he's gonna have to go back to the site plan.
He's gonna be shocked for what's under there. Now, Zeke mentioned the main thing, the base. And there is none. But he's gonna park his cars there and they're gonna sink. So I think he's gonna, have to look into this to make it a really functionable parking lot. Now, I'm not crazy about it. I'll be honest with you, on a personal level, because I think we all look forward to have something built there that's
Yeah.
going to be something for the turnpike and it's gonna generate some taxes. I don't know. Those cars are gonna be parked there, do you pay tax on them when they're?
No.
No, because they're for sale.
Right.
Uh,
But on the other hand, he's had that building, so you are bringing some tax.
yeah, there's a wash.
Do you want them to bail and go, even though he said it's difficult, I wouldn't want to see them leave either.
No, we're here to help. And to that extent, I'll put my personal view aside. But if that's not a full parking lot, it's not gonna look right and it's not going to function for him properly.
and I think the other thing too. If he does that parking lot correctly on the turnpike, and he has nice signage and it looks nice. It's like you had mentioned, Maggie, a couple meetings ago, it's like a billboard for his Subaru dealership. I think his dealership's gonna do a lot better. And he's gonna bring more people in, and more people are gonna come around and buy these cars. And then if we're bringing people to town and, hey, your car will be ready in 2 hours, and they're going out to dine in town, or they're, spending money in town, well, that's good too, to help other businesses.
The thing about it, why where you can't use it, puts it up for sale, it's gonna look better than what it is now.
Right.
I got the parking lot, everything, I'm gonna put a small building up at the end of it, and I'm all done.
Already.
But, you don't know, it's fun, just hope that it works, and makes it, you use it as a shuttle, they'll park there and just shuttle over to the dealership.
Well, the other thing too is if it's gravel and dirty and muddy, when the guys or gals go get the car, they're stepping in mud, bring it in on the mats, it would be better if it was asphalt. So, because then the guys at the shop gotta do double clean job to fix all the mud on the mats and everything.
I was hoping that he can marry this with something else, another type of services that would generate more for us, for the town revenue.
Right.
So I was hoping that we could, but he said, there's 6 acre, right, he only can use barely like 2. But I was hoping that he can marry this with something, I don't know what that something is, but something.
Yeah.
So that will generate some revenue, so it's not gonna be just storage and
Even with car detailing or something.
car detailing or
Yes,
something.
and I think the two things I believe that Subaru would allow him to do would be car detailing. And then, if he was selling vehicles there, and have like a sales office. Kind of thing.
Yeah.
The big issue is you can't do service at a second location, that's the big kicker that I'm talking about.
Right. But now, how many cars,
I think.
how many cars, I can't remember, how many cars are you looking to park on?
I thought he said 150 when he first.
Okay.
I thought he said 150 when he first started talking.
It might be, I know I wanna say they gave him a number, but I don't remember exactly what it is, what thing. But at the meeting, I'll get some more, I can get more details.
Oh, so
I'm
actually,
trying to look at it,
There's that.
how many cars, how big is the usable site? And then on top of it, you put a building up there, that's gonna limit your amount of cars. You say it's 4 acres out of the 6 you can use?
Two.
Two,
Barely.
that's even worse. 2 out of 6. So you're not gonna park 150 cars and put up a building.
Yeah.
It's not gonna work.
It's just gotta be presentable.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, we'll take any action on that, no action on the doggy daycare,
Well, the other thing that's gonna happen with a lot, okay, let's just pretend, okay, we wanna buy a Subaru. You wanna buy a Subaru, you want one, okay? So you're gonna go to the main thing, the main headquarters next to the movie house, right across the street. And, oh yeah, we have a gold one, but it's at the other lot. Oh, well, let's go to the other lot. Well-
You have to shuttle it back.
Yeah, I know, but
No,
okay, so
bring them there.
bring me the gold one, well, I don't know, I might like a silver one, I might, it would make sense for you to,
You get.
like, I'd wanna
You're
look
gonna
at
catch
all of them.
somebody more if you show them everything you got.
Yeah,
Oh, no, I like that.
right, well, that's what I'm,
So they're going to land up bringing the customer there.
that's what's gonna happen.
Let's take a ride.
Yeah, I don't see, because I'm gonna say, well, okay, I'm looking at their catalog and they got the colors. Well, I think I might like a gold one, but really I'd like to see the other ones too. So they're not gonna bring them 10 colors. They're gonna say, okay, come on over to the lot. And so really what they should do when they do that is they should have a little office the size of this room. Well, come on in for coffee, and discuss the colors. They probably should.
Well, that's a good point, but you know what? They could easily show the different cars on a screen like that. And so I think I like the gold one. Well, let's go over and look at one.
Yeah, I
You
know.
know?
Yeah, but I just think that the people are gonna, well, I might want a red one or a gold one. Well, let's go, or a silver one. Yeah, now we're gonna bring 3 over. They're just gonna go to the lot.
When I bought my Chrysler from Carly, probably they brought me to a different lot.
It's a different lot, yeah.
yeah, and this is.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Okay, and this is kind of,
You want it to look presentable. You want to bring them to a mud hole.
Oh, yeah, and that's what they're
Let me
gonna
bring in a car, we keep them in the swamp over there.
there's no way he's gonna take $25,000 cars and sink them in a car.
Right.
I think it's gonna be.
I guess the question, all you have to do is ask yourself. Just ask yourself, if you ran this dealership and you had that lot, what would you do? Would you just let the people are gonna wanna say, oh, sure, come on, jump in, we'll take you over to the lot, and show you all the cars. It's gotta look paved, it can't look like mud and gravel. Oh, would you like a coffee? That's what I'd say, have a little building like this, come on in for a coffee. Okay, let's talk about it.
I think the brand itself is also gonna have a say in what this is gonna look like. I would not, again, if I'm Subaru, I would not want my cars in a shithole or a mud hole.
Well, he was parking them in New Britain by Veterans Drive there in the Honda lot, he told us.
Yeah.
And that's just like a razor wire, it looks like it could be a prison in there,
Yep.
Right by the.
The exit,
Yeah.
I know. So, Subaru let him do that, like, do they really, it's parking like the store car.
One thing he hit on, that I'm surprised you're not interested, that a work property.
Oh, yeah, but he said, he said it's available, but then he said, oh, it'll be a long time before it's available, when he was done talking.
I mean, that place,
just sitting.
Yeah.
And none of the family is in that business anymore.
I forget who was in there, but it's not like.
Somebody's just racing it. All right, so,
All
FHS Studio, so what happened is they essentially, in BT1, BT2, they added a handful of the uses, which was a good thing. But then, literally, during the vote, it went back to 2 acres and a 50-foot setback, which was what we were asking for the change. I have not, I'm not even sure how to go about how did we get there in the discussion, so I'm just gonna kind of let it sit, but the next piece at the end, additional items, is some ideas I had.
Okay, I'm not clear about
Yes.
this now.
Yep.
Is it 15-foot setback before the parking lot starts? Or the building from the property
Well, I
line?
believe the setback is the building itself.
Okay, and then what is from the property line? To the parking, beginning of the parking?
It's probably 10 or 15, so the actual. regs itself, can we 30 seconds, I can take a look at that on the BT regs here.
And the frontage too, Chris.
Industrial, looking at the whole number table here.
Maggie, what's the frontage of your property?
Setback?
Huh?
The setback?
No, the frontage on the highway.
Okay,
Couple
so
hundred?
okay, so 50 feet of front setback. Parking and loading setback would be 10 feet. Maximum building coverage, okay. Minimum lot size, 2 acres, minimum lot width, 175 feet.
What's 175?
Minimum lot width.
Oh, boy, and then, oh. It doesn't make sense, I'm sorry,
I agree with you.
it doesn't.
No, because you're talking about 70 to 100 feet when you figure in the state right of way.
But the 175 feet, now that could have easily been 200, I'll be generous, that could have been 200. Okay? The setbacks might work, that doesn't sound that far fetched if I understood what you were saying. But the acreage does not.
The other piece is, it's also 50-foot rear setback because most of the back there is residential. 50 in front, 50 in back, you've lost 100 feet of
Wow.
land. I mean, it's.
Well, no, that's not what you're saying, you're saying it's 50 foot, the building has to be 50 feet back
Yeah, that's the setback for the building. We were
from the
asking,
property line.
yeah, we were asking for 25 to be able to,
That still could be workable, because then you could still have 2 lanes of parking and then the building. You know, that could work. But
it's frustrating is what it is, because
Yes.
it was a very long time. And it was somebody completely different. It wasn't Zygmunt Zygmunt is the one that's up there. I call him Cliff Clayton because he knows more about Berlin than anybody, and just goes on.
who made the motion?
The young kid who works for the city of New Britain, I don't even know what his name is, but he.
Dark haired kid?
Yeah. So instead of making the motion at 1.5 and 25, motion was made. And then he made the motion and then one of the members flip-flopped, so it ended up passing 4-3 to change nothing.
Is he a permanent or
I do not know.
Okay,
So SBDD was, and I'm gonna have some ideas, which I'll bring up.
I said, told myself I wasn't gonna do this, but I am. He made an example that one night about how he came off of Route 9 because Route 9 was backed up and came onto Farmington Avenue. And Farmington Avenue was a mess and was all backed up. And that's why he thought that we should not have any more apartments in the transit oriented development area. Okay, common sense will tell you that if the highway's backed up, everyone else took Farmington Avenue, and that's why it was an excessively busy night. And that's why you turn down a long-term plan that don't make sense. I'm sorry, but never mind, I'm gonna shut my mouth. I better not say.
No, you're right, what you're saying. Everybody else is using it.
The same gentleman made that motion and got something turned down, and they didn't want to talk about the redevelopment of Ron's Auto. Okay, so none of this makes sense.
So SBDD is Thursday night. Back to the meeting here.
Should have been 1 acre,
One,
with 200-foot frontage.
so one of the members, so they were talking about SBPD at the last meeting because we thought they were gonna take action on it. One of the members, who I'm not gonna mention who it was on Zoom. And literally goes, is this the one where you're looking to go from 2 acres to 1? SBPD. There is a huge disconnect between the people on there and where we were trying to go. They didn't take any action on it. I'm hoping they take action Thursday night, but I think if they do the same thing, my grandkids weren't even born yet are gonna still see that being nothing but trees. And the problem is public hearing is closed, so there's nothing we could do at this point. But I'm hopeful because we did have, a couple members of the family were there. Frank Amodio was able to speak at one of the previous meetings, and Frank and his son are actually doing a lot of commercial real estate, and kind of talked about the opportunities, the changing marketplace. So I'm hoping that they get something from that. And I mean, I don't know whether or not any of the uses there are gonna be a home run. I just know it's the first actual changes made on that property in 40 years. And Eddie knows, he did commercial real estate for a while. The entire marketplace forgot about that property 30 years, didn't even think about it. So I'm hopeful, but again, I mean, it's. They are incredibly unpredictable right now, is the best word.
The gentleman that was on Skype did make sense, because he corrected them about footage and so forth. Okay, and it's funny because it's like, you could all have opinions, but I opened my mouth and said something, and all of a sudden you all agreed with me. Whatever you were thinking was gone, and you just followed me. And that's what they've been doing, okay? One person makes a motion and they go with it.
It's definitely weird.
I hope they really dissected this whole thing, okay? And looked at it and not trying to make their fellow commissioner happy by voting with them.
So the core area 2, yeah, they weren't even willing to have a discussion on it, and it was. 1, we got the apartments, and 2, traffic, which again, I knew everything was not gonna happen, and I'm just letting that one go.
What are we talking about now?
So the core area 2, we're asking for.
More density,
Yeah, more density.
and they shut that down.
And weren't even willing to have the discussion. It didn't even, it was just no, we're not even gonna do this, so I just.
Okay, so they were, nothing.
Well, and they're willing, like I said, we're willing to look at on a project by project basis, they're not going to do anything overall,
Okay.
so. We'll see what happens.
Are we on Skype?
Oh, yeah, we're live.
Yeah, it's Alan, Allison, Chris, and then us. Cool. So
Okay.
the other thing is too, and this is just more FYI for you guys, so gentleman came in for the site plan approval for 8 small buildings on the cornfield, or the basically the field corner of Norton and Fora. And so did not go well.
It did not go well.
Did not go well. A handful of neighbors came out, which I was not surprised about, but even some of the commission members were not against it, but, and I can't remember exactly, but none, let's just not say it was verbatim, but pretty close, but I wouldn't even mind seeing houses there. So that is the ultimate, you don't change industrial to residential, because industrial is the only place you can't put affordable housing.
Is that the comment our commissioner made?
One of the commissioners made.
Mhm.
So again, I mean, from literally the day I started, you do not do that. And again, now a couple things that played into that before I came on board. Broadgate, I think that's why that became industrial, or is industrial, so it would become.
Yeah, the Rambus property.
Yeah, Rambus property.
Yeah, right.
So at this point, I'm concerned that they're going to either deny it or beat him up, even though it's allowed by special permit in the zone. Now, that land has been industrial land for 50 years. before some of the houses were even built.
This side of the road is all industrial all the way up.
Agreed?
This is the
I
standard
mean,
chem
all,
guy, right?
pretty much all the way
Yeah.
from the old high speed.
Yeah.
Up past and goes all the way to Toll Gate Road.
There. All right, there's already a hole in my tongue.
And it's.
Well, okay, so they roughed him up, but the zone allows it, so he could
Yeah.
keep pursuing his
Yeah.
project.
They should not have to go through that.
No, I know,
They
but
should look for the happy medium of what, how to protect the houses as much as possible. But they have a right to develop that property. Okay, and I guarantee you, everybody that bought their house, bought it after to find out that. The property's been industrial for years. I'm not saying this right.
They were
It's
looking
not
at,
a zone.
oh, nice, we got a hayfield or a cornfield.
Right.
it's,
Oh, this is nice.
You're taking the developer's rights away.
well, what'll happen is, okay, if they deny him, he's just gonna get a lawyer. Right? The zone allows it,
Yeah.
right?
Yes,
So what are you gonna do? They just say, we don't like your it's like a residential building lot that allows a one family, and the guy or gal comes in with, wants his building permit to build a one family on an approved building lot in Berlin, you say, no, I'm not letting you, because I don't like, the style of your house. You can't do that. So if the zone allows it, they're gonna end up in court.
The thing about it is, everything on that ordering those neighbors, that's the wetlands right there.
Here's my fear.
So you're not gonna be right on that road.
They turn him down and he comes back and says. I'm gonna roll the dice. I'm coming back in, I'm gonna take you to court, and I'm gonna put 300 apartments there, tell me I can't.
Well, they'll use the industrial zone.
Well, with that in mind. Town of Glastonbury is being sued right now for an affordable housing development in an industrial zone. I don't know where it's gonna go, but it's in the court right now.
Yeah, but I talked to that guy. I talked to that town planner guy.
Yep.
And there's a little bit of glitch there. He explained it to me that, and I don't remember what he explained. It's not as simple as it's industrial land and the developer wants to put apartments there and he's suing him for that. There was a glitch where the reg said something else about the land. He explained it all to
Yeah.
me. So it's not like vanilla.
And yeah, there's no vanilla here. I just know right now. You're a red leaning town in a very blue state. And that concerns me because, I mean, you could have put 90,000 square feet distribution 24/7, 365 across dock facility easily.
Mhm.
You could do that. And I mean, it's allowed. In fact, it's a site plan. It's not even a special permit. It's a site plan approval to do that. And my goal is not to scare the neighbors, but I mean. If he can do what he would like to do, which is to do small spaces, 2,500, 5,000 square feet, up to 10,000 square foot building. For clean contractors, so really the folks we've seen the biggest growth in, Priority Electric, Air Temp, Douglas Mechanical. You could lease with option, you could buy outright, essentially would be the only place in the entire state of Connecticut where you could be that.
So if you talk to him, what's he gonna do?
I think they're going in across from ESPN.
Okay.
It's to the small contract.
What was his name? Rich?
No, John.
Okay, so what, if you talk to John, what's he gonna do?
I talked to John, he's gonna come back, I mean, his engineer had kind of a different viewpoint on it.
could you tell us a few of the comments that was made?
People were concerned about traffic and, the cars and the access, and it's so much buildings and. It just, everybody's mind just went there, oh my God, it's gonna be this, and this, and it's like. I mean, they designed it so that nothing bigger than a 20-foot box truck can even get in there. They've designed it so 18-wheelers cannot get in. Because they were concerned about that. So I mean, they thought about this from the neighbor's perspective. And it just really was I think we're leaning so far towards protect the homeowner, that the other piece is missing, which is, yes, he's investing, he's looking to do this, it is allowed by right. Yes, he has to go through the process, absolutely.
Yeah, he's gotta just forge ahead. And that's all he's gotta do, because what happens is, it's not like this arrangement where he took an option on the piece subject to some approval down the road. He invested big bucks to buy the piece because he knew the zone, he knew what was allowed, right? So he's just gotta forge ahead, take it the distance, see what happens. And they're gonna have to wake up and say, listen, you're gonna deny this? You have a potential for a 24/7 warehouse. You have the potential maybe for affordables. You have the potential for a huge lawsuit, right? So they're gonna have to okay, day one.
They're still sending the message, Dave,
Yeah, I know.
stay out of borough.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah, I know.
I am so damn frustrated with how they handle things. I'm sorry.
I tell you, that 4 Rod Road, that's a true way. It's busy as hell now.
Yeah.
And you're only talking people are gonna go in at 7 in the morning and they'll leave like 4:35. Well, how many, you got those mobile, how many people are gonna be need?
Yeah.
If they're contractors, a lot of times they're not even here, they take their truck home.
Yeah, it's gonna be basically a sales office and storage for stuff. Anyway, so let me go to some.
In the front, you put enough pine trees.
Yeah.
Okay, you put an area so it looks presentable in the front. You know, I can understand how the people feel because they have the corner, the Port Hayfield there, okay, but reality is,
We passed that.
yeah,
Right, yeah.
a long time.
It's in the script. Alrighty, so on the next page, I have items for discussion. I'm throwing them out there as just some things that I've been kicking around. I know we just went through with them, but a couple things I think might be worth looking at. So PI 1 and PI 2, right now we have language in the PI, which is pretty simple: health, fitness, gymnasium. That's about it. PI 2 allows indoor sports complexes, which is where we have the basketball facility. Just after that, if you go. Okay, you're on the back side of that page. No, not back side of where you were there.
They're right there, yeah.
So I have a gentleman right now looking to do something that would be a combination of indoor skateboard park, fitness, like gymnasium, in the old Arkema building over on Old Brick area. That building is really, really challenging, as we know, built over 50, 60 years. It doesn't fit under the PI, and the idea would be is, can we basically, again, this commission, myself in particular, push forward to get the language to match up so that his indoor sports complex would be allowed in that building. Because right now, it's literally the same exact zone, but it's two different languages. And by the way it's written right now, they say it does not fit in the building. Now, greatest use ever, I don't know, but it's something different. It's in a town that has a very successful 35-year-old skateboard and bike show already. So
Now, that building had, over there on Brickyard, how much of that building is actually being used? Is it, company still?
yeah, trucking company's in the rear, and then Zovich has about 10,000-15,000 square feet in the front. So I would say maybe 65 to 70,000 square feet is not used. So I'd say it's 120. So probably 60% is unused. And then the other pieces as well is, does it make sense to add any language about outdoor? That's just kind of I don't know if it does or does not.
Which one?
Sure, so if you go onto Old Brick Yard, go down just past the residential, on the right hand side is a big brick building.
Okay.
Yeah, they used to manufacture plexiglass. They have not been there. Actually, they went out before I was even here. And so it was purchased by a developer and trying to find options. This gentleman, Berlin guy who moved away and came back, interested in doing this. So I'll look at it and maybe even come up with some ideas to bring back to you. Just want to kind of mention that because I think this is something that, again, it's something the planning and zoning commission should do, but they're never gonna get around to it, which is matching up the language between the two. Okay. Next one, as we were talking about, Eddie, but they didn't give us the measurement, et cetera. So my thoughts were, could we increase the coverage ratio from 25-50% to give them more building? Ask for the setback in residential to be 30, not 50, and ask the minimum rear yard to be 25, not 50. Again, not a huge difference, but would give them more area to build upon and ability to build more building on it. It's not the best scenario, but it's something to kick around and think about. Because they shut us down going the front door, maybe we can try side doors or at least do something. The next one here, and this, I hate to say it, but this is for Eddie, this next one here. When he went through to get the dance school approved, they really got unhappy with the phrase other or similar artistic endeavors. Now, this is within their regs. They didn't like it. And I'm wondering, do we just go in and ask them to strike it altogether? Because it was, would you say exhausting, Eddie, the best way to put it, when we were there at that meeting on this?
Again. I don't know, you guys know the history of this? Okay, I just needed the dance studio to be approved for the BT1 zone. Meanwhile, when I was making the application out, Maureen says, listen, she says, you're doing something, she goes, will you add the other arts in there because it only makes sense. Okay, and it's worded exactly the way the CCD1 zone is in black and white today. It's been that way for who knows how long. So we just wanted to match it up. So I accommodated her, and the commission stopped me in my tracks. We don't want to do that because it leaves it open too much of other things that can come in that they don't know what it's going to be. And I figured, hey, I just want a dance studio. And we just said, fine, let's just do the dance studio. So I think Maureen at that point was saying, look at your own regs. It's been in black and white for years, you know? So they passed the dance studio and we went on from there. But there's things in there like a fitness center is not allowed, daycare is not allowed, and so forth. There's things that should be in there that are up and down the turnpike already, that they're not even looking at this stuff, that it's very simply just says it makes sense. That's all. So that's the story.
And I hate to say it, it goes directly to the fact that the people on the commission don't know their own zoning. Anyway, so just, it's more of an FYI, and I don't know whether or not we want to, but I know that literally every time that comes up, it's the same argument, it's the same discussion, and they automatically mention tattoo parlor, and even though tattoo parlor is specifically.
Why don't they just take that and put it under special permit so they could separate it? It's very simple.
Any common sense. You're doing that again.
Okay, sorry, I'm sorry.
I know I do that.
Someone should sit over here to slap. You know, really.
Yeah, okay, so last one here, and this is one that I'm thinking about going forward, so. Signage is pretty particular, you get one on the building, you get one on the road, and that's it. So there was a situation that came up with Tasca. Now, when Tasca bought the building, Morandi Ford had already put a number of signs up. And then they put additional signs in the back building. Now, the thought I had was, in particularly looking at an automotive business, again, not the used car dealership, but automotive business, somebody of National Flag, etc. They don't just have one business. They have new cars, used cars, service, sales, there's all different pieces to it. And the opportunity of giving the commission the ability to do up to X number of signs. And the one I'm thinking of right now is Peterbilt. Peterbilt is going to have service, sales, parts, and they're all different parts of the building. And if Peterbilt's going to come in and build a $10 million facility, and we don't allow them, well, I should say, if us not allowing them more than 2 signs, they're not building a $10 million facility, to me, one, it's negligent, 2, it's silly not to at least start the conversation with this, because it is important, because, again, And again, I don't even know, I mean, this isn't even part of the art discussion, but his may be the same thing, which is the fact that you want to send people, I mean, really what it is directional signage. It's not even necessarily signage that says the company name. If you think about it, you have the quick lube or whatever it's called, and then you have the service center and back for the trucks. So it's more of giving them the ability.
Does make sense. Like I say, as long as it doesn't have an advertisement on it, even their name, just, service, parts. Every time you go into a place like a dealership, go. Be nice to have some signs, tell me where to go.
I know we had some problem with Tasco. Were they able to resolve it, put up more signs that sort of help direct their customers?
Yeah, and what it was is the signage basically being grandfathered in, and then they ended up having signage on the back building.
Yeah, okay. So the other thing is, do we have this fellow, that Peterbilt guy, is he
Yep.
coming around or not yet?
Not yet.
Not yet, okay, I understand.
Not yet, but it's when I spoke to him, this is something that he mentioned.
Okay,
That-
so do we have any pictures of some of his existing dealerships, wherever they might be? He's all the way down in Florida, I think. That, okay, like you might need a couple different pictures or a video, and you say, okay, he's got 7 signs up. And he wants to come to Berlin and do the same thing, but we're only gonna allow him 2 signs. I think that's the way you sell it to P and Z. Say, guys, look at, this is what he's doing, and get some pictures of his existing shops. That look pretty, get the pretty ones,
No, yeah, and I could easily do that too. I mean.
That's the way
with
to
him,
sell it.
and then the other one is too, is I probably would, and I'm thinking it makes the most sense. Probably go directly out like to Connecticut Boulevard in East Hartford, where you've got 27 dealerships, same thing. Give them some examples of what
Right,
people have
right.
done.
And then I think they might better understand it and say, yeah, oh yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Well, but in red, he's allowed to have 2 signs up to the street within the corner lot. So he can have one facing north, and then he can have one facing east.
Yeah.
I think the reds read that. But then once you get into the complex,
Right.
You need directional.
You
where
need to
go
know
for.
where the hell.
but they actually still regulate that.
Service sales parts, yeah, no, they would consider them more signs, wouldn't allow.
So we have to fix that.
Yeah, I think your idea is great, which is to give examples with pictures, which is fine. So I'll go back to you guys before I do anything with that one.
And I would use the Peterbilt example specifically because the guy wants to come.
They have one in Plainville, Mass, which is not that far from football stadium, and yeah, if I have to, I'll go up there and take pictures of my damn self.
So yeah, to be proactive, I think it's good to, something that's a hurdle you don't have to deal with when he's starting to build.
Well, I mean, because they did, I mean, they bought both the parcels, they bought Edelson's Racetrack, and they bought the bowling, I took down the bowling. Their first architect engineer said it couldn't be done. I think they were short-sighted, and something of that size and scope, you find a way to make it happen.
Right.
If you have to, I mean, if you look at the guys on Christian Lane who built the 30,000 square foot expansion for the rubbish company. They did the same thing. Said, hey, look, we don't have enough here, but we made it work. Same thing. We make the argument for the greater good, which is the fact that, again, you want to keep somebody like Peter in town.
You want them to build.
When the property owner says that's one ugly ass building, he's about to spend some money. And I wanted to do it here in Berkeley.
Yeah, and I think that's a great example because we have someone ready to move.
Yep.
And you use them as your sort of carrot,
And again, I haven't even, I just thought about it literally right this second. I need to talk to Art about it. That may be part of his equation as well. That if he does the expansion, is he going to need this as well? Because I don't also want to have him have to fight, but he's already here. So yes, I'll put some language together. All right, I'm happy stuff. So ribbon cutting to milestones, peaceful and prenatal, which is yoga for new moms on Leicester Road, where the theater used to be there in the rear building. They did a great job over on Deming Road. It's kind of a whole interior like studio set up for kitchen, bath, etc. It turned out really nice. Roth Chiropractic basically took the entirety of that building. They cut it out in a small, like 600 square feet. Really cool over on the Brick Road. Bill's Pizza, we gave him a milestone award on Friday, which was kind of cool. Pete Latest.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool. And apparently he said he started there at 14, bought it at 20, and has been there for a very, very long time. Wow, that's kind of cool.
Oh, yeah, the mother was there,
Yep.
you know.
Brothers.
Oh, they were all there.
So-
Billy was there.
Yep, so Aroma Joe's and Pit Stop, we did that yesterday, which was actually really nice. It's actually a young lady, this franchisee, she can't be more than 27. Went up to the training in Maine, and so it turned out nice. They were very, very appreciative of doing that. That was the first piece of Giadio's project. So that one is complete. I believe he has a hotel that is ready to go with an operator, and I'm trying to connect David Allen Hospitality to them. So David could have some meeting rooms, because that's the only thing David doesn't have. He's been successful, and probably has 14,000 square feet down with the old high street building. And so if you did that, it'd be great.
That is gonna be a beautiful complex.
It is, and we've been talking to them about that, which is great. Alrighty, so, Aromatic, 120 Old Brickyard Road, this is kind of a cool story, so. You guys remember, I'm sure you do, Carol and Sal Calvo, who had mid-state air compressor for years, started out on basically from home, small spot on Deming, then bought the old car dealership. Aromatic is run by their two nephews, same business, same industry. So that old Brickyard, basically just before you get to the Arkema building is the driveway to the right. If you guys are around tomorrow morning at 8:30, the ribbon cutting for him, do some amazing creative stuff. You'll love this piece being in manufacturing. So they're now creating air compression systems, and some of them are in shipping containers. So it's a self-contained unit you can connect to your building instead of having to build an expansion onto your building. Which to me, it was just like, that's the coolest thing I've ever seen. Yeah, so very cool stuff. Muay Thai, which is down on Mill Street, Kennington Insurance in June. And a couple other things coming up, but the good news is there's, the other one, so. Thursday, I didn't put it on here. Thursday is going to be ribbon cutting for, an organization that helps people with Down syndrome and autism, and TED. TED Shop. TED bought the old building where Sharon Elizabeth was, so it's gonna be kind of 2 for 1 ribbon cutting Thursday evening.
Speaking of, whatever happened to that insurance company in the corner of Burnham Street or Warriors Pass and Farmington Avenue?
I think he's still there. He never did anything. I tried to ribbon
There
cutting.
was a sign out there at one time. Now there's no signage out
Yeah,
there.
there's no sign. He's got a little sign for like one of the companies he was insurance.
I mean, I see people working in there, but I just didn't.
Yeah, I haven't seen what you're.
Yeah, the old bridal shop.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, the building turned out beautiful. Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm wondering too, like, what the hell's going on there?
Yeah, I thought they rented it out as residential.
Now I see people, you go by in the evening, you see lights out.
Oh, yes.
People working.
Yep. So, we do have a date, June 4th at the library from like 4:30 to 6:30. We're really gonna just do an information session on kind of the walk and really to get community feedback on what people are looking for. Eddie, we are gonna work something out that you will officially be the sponsor of the bench. I need to find out how much the plaque is gonna be. We're gonna put on there for your, college in front of the fire department.
Alright, so how do you handle the cost of?
We'll figure that piece out, but I just wanna let you know that we're good to go with that. It's outside of the scope. We're gonna talk about that night, but I wanna let you know that we are gonna work on that.
Okay.
Already. So really, we're gonna have a discussion, and so probably what's gonna happen is we'll be in the room, do a quick presentation, probably have yellow sheets of paper around the room, and then we'll have to go moving around every 15 minutes just to get people's thoughts, because I want this to be a community project overall. So again, garden club, historical society, veterans, other people might be interested in being involved in it, because I think it's an opportunity to really talk about and have Berlin's history shown, not to the same degree they did in Veterans Park with the big huge ones, but if you did 18 by 24, for instance, why is our high school called the Red Coats? It's nowhere. Other things that might have happened to get people walking on Farmington Avenue, start at McClatchy Park, end up in Veterans Park 2, and really what it is just to, again, get people engaged and try to make something happen with this. Again, I hate to say it, but I stumbled into a grant and got 4 benches, and it's going from here. I will say my ulterior motive is
if people are walking on Farmington Avenue, they're not in their cars, they can actually see what's going on, do businesses. Plus,
And there are more people walking on Farmington Avenue.
yeah, and it'd be nice too, because and I think there's opportunities here, so I'll give you guys information on it, but if you're willing to be there, that's great. Really, it's just to get people excited about it, because it is something different. It is definitely a long-term type of thing. This is not a to go in tomorrow and do it. But I think if we can get, again, veterans, historical society, garden club, we're talking about people mostly been here for most of their lives, older, tired. We can have both labor and potentially financial resources to make this really something special. Good, alrighty. Dave, here's our wonderful list of stuff.
Yeah, I've asked Chris to create a sort of agenda item that's talking about ongoing items for discussion. So we talked about Stop and Shop. It's a grocery store, this commission, and we had a meeting with Stop and Shop. The mayor, myself, the manager of the Berlin store, the district manager, and the corporate relations person, and the town manager. We had a meeting in the town manager's conference room, maybe 5 weeks ago, roughly. And the morning of the meeting, the store opened at 7, and I went there at 7 a.m. And I took 42 pictures of empty shelves, it just a lot. I took 42 pictures. And it was a disaster. It's 7 a.m. and your store's opening and you're not ready for business. And we had a big discussion. They took my cell phone and they're swiping, looking at all the pictures. And so they said they're gonna go back and tell the people that provide produce, and the manager was there. So what's gonna come out of it, I don't know. But they heard from us.
Well, he's just he should already know this.
Yeah, yes. Yeah.
I mean, the manager said it all, doesn't do anything.
No, he's been
I
here.
talked to a few other people,
Yeah.
like people from Glastonbury. I asked about Stop and Shop.
Yeah.
And there's 2 in Glastonbury, and they said that, they're fine. They don't have any of that problem. One person thought they never go in the morning, but the others, they're a morning shopper, and they don't see any of those issues. It's a clean store and everything else.
Yep.
I talked to people who go to New Britain. They said that one's not too bad.
Yeah.
And that's what you figure that would be worse.
But also the one in Cromwell is the best supply Stop and Shop in Connecticut.
Is it? Yeah.
And so if they're delivering such an amount of products and is the best supply, just 5 minutes drive to us. So I don't understand this connection.
And I asked them, do you rank your stores? Because I had heard that.
Yeah.
There's an A store, B store, C store, like is it based on 5? We don't rank, all the stores are the same. Now, the manager has only been, the manager's name is Paul Lang. He's only been there 6 weeks when we had our meeting. He just got there. He came from Enfield. So he just got there. So.
But he ran a Stop and Shop in
In Enfield, yep.
So.
Yeah.
What would be the difference of running a Stop and Shop in Enfield or a Stop and Shop in Berlin? Is it your people? Is it what is it? Are you laughing people or?
Yeah, well, I don't know if he's.
It's not like he's green at running.
It's called Pride.
Yeah. I don't know if he's trying to get the lay of the landscape here and say, okay, let's, for the first month, you don't do anything because you want to sort of feel it out. I don't know.
Were they receptive? of
They
what
were
you
very
saying?
nice. Yep, very nice. And they had my pictures. I said to myself, I can't go to this meeting cold. I got to show them what I'm seeing. And
Were you
they,
able to email him the pictures so he could show his people?
no, they looked at my phone and.
Well, you wonder. It's very unusual you did this. I give you guys a lot of credit. But you wonder if they walked out of here going, who the hell are they telling us how to run our business?
Yeah.
Or did they take you seriously?
Yeah.
What about having a butcher there? Like other places have, and
And we told them
a
people
Flair Deli.
are leaving town to go shopping, So, we have a responsibility as.
I mean, they gotta see that in sales of what they're selling.
Yeah.
You're not like you're blind. You know if your business is thriving, which way it's going.
Yeah, I told him, I said, I went in there and bought I had to buy iceberg lettuce. They were the size of a grapefruit. A head of iceberg lettuce, you know.
Yeah.
They were like this. I said they were like, it's a joke. And I told him in the like down where they sell the cards, down the end, where they have, you know, I don't know, Ziploc bags and stuff. They have some cosmetic products, right? They've got a wall from here to the door with, you know, nail clippers, eye pencils for the girls, or whatever that stuff is, right? Half of it was gone. You know, they got all the little metal things and they hang them, you know, like they have batteries. Half of it was empty. I showed them the picture. I said, look, half's empty. You know what they said to me? She said, those are the items that people steal all the time. Very easy. They took it in a pocket. We have a big problem with theft, she said. They steal those items because,
That I don't know.
yeah, they go there. and
Same
it's-
thing, CVS, that's exactly the same problem.
Yeah,
Before you could buy regular soap, you know, like a more in a regular shelf, right now it's locked in, everything.
yeah. So that's what they told me, but they were very nice. They were receptive. So what I want to see is like in a few months, like, what are we seeing? You know, like did they change anything? Is it better? Because if it's not, we're gonna have another meeting.
Or, well, you know, I'm wondering if they're getting a big draw from the east end of New Britain and they're happy.
Well,
You know, it's possible. But hey, that's something that they actually were receptive
Yeah, I
to
think
all
those,
this.
they'll just go down to Walmart and crap them.
I told them they can increase their sales 20% if this was a sweet grocery store. If it was nice. 20% nothing. Everyone who's leaving town would just stay here. Who the hell wants to drive far away to go grocery shopping if it's good here? 20% easy. I said you could have an increase in sales, 20% like nothing. If you just like, you know, made it like, okay, Big Y. Like Big Y is a nice store.
It is.
It's always stocked well. The people are very friendly and it's clean. When they open the door, whenever it is 8 or 7 or AM, everything's ready to go.
Correct.
There's no half shelves empty. Believe me.
But if there are people that have stocking, that's what it's
That's
supposed
what
to be
it
like.
is. We're supposed to stop. When you open the lights and you open the door, you should be ready for business.
Yeah,
If they're
do
not-
they think they're the only game in town and you get what you get?
Maybe.
But you can't even find a product that they used to have, you know, they used to have product and they no longer have it.
Right.
You know, so you go and if you buy this particular product, you go somewhere else, so you buy groceries somewhere else.
And you buy everything else there.
And you buy everything else.
Well, we did that. So
Yeah,
I-
that's good.
I want to keep it on the agenda though. So, you know, we have comments.
They give you credit.
Ferndale, Rich Brownstein
We had a meeting today,
today.
literally in this room with him, his attorney, his architect, Maureen, myself, and sort of brain just went jello, Paul from the zoning office. So we kind of walked through, talked a little bit about it, and so they're gonna be coming in to probably come to the planning and zoning with something that's in our regs that I've not seen done before. Plan development district. And so to come in and basically to have regs written on what they'd like to do there with mixed use to have apartments and the retail and the like. So the plan is for them to go to P and Z with what they come up with and kind of get a vibe from them on whether or not something they're willing to do on that particular property.
All right, so what happened, Chris, and you know all about this because we've talked about it here.
Yep.
And I was talking about a mini blueback square, like where both sides of the Chamberlain Highway complement one another. They're owned by the same family. And slowing down traffic is really important because, no one slows down there really unless you're gonna stop these. And you can't have a yellow light there because there's 3 yellow lights down Chamberlain Highway, one at Reservoir Road, one at High Road where it dumps off, and one by South Kensington. You wanna know who slows down for those lights? No one. They don't, including me. I might look to see if anyone's coming
Yeah,
out.
I don't.
All right, so if you wanna fix Ferndale Plaza, you really have to fix the traffic. If you want to you want people to walk and you want a mini downtown and you wanna make a destination, you have to fix the traffic. I really do.
I had a thought in the middle of the meeting today.
And you want, the signs before you get there, slow down, a pedestrian crossing, you gotta slow the traffic down.
Now,
Because you know what, no one slows down there. If you're not going there,
Don't slow
you
down
just
anyway.
you just buzz right through.
all right, so here's
So-
a thought I had in
Chris-
the meeting, Dave. Let me show you my thought in the meeting.
And
today.
you know all about this, Chris, so.
Yep.
I wanted Brownstein to come here, I wanna tell him all this stuff.
What if at the intersection here,
What are we talking about?
okay, so let's say this is a gas station here, so you got the intersection of High Gladding and the Chamberlain Highway. What if there was some type of a light here
For everybody.
for everybody? Because one, I'm amazed
Somebody
nobody,
slow to make a rotary.
I have Rotary.
that's the other option. The problem is somebody doesn't,
Yeah, automatically slows.
somebody doesn't take a lot of land, but that would not be a bad idea, actually.
The only way else,
Rotary.
yes, same thing. yes.
There's that triangle there already, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is actually,
Yeah,
this is actually, this is actually state highway right here. So this is the right of way right here, so. Yeah, no, that would actually make a lot of sense and.
Yeah.
You'd have no choice but to slow it down.
Yeah.
And then you'd have a crosswalk across it, which actually. Somebody was telling me they've never had a fatality on a crosswalk across. The roundabout.
So Chris, when you met with Brownstein, when you met with Brownstein today, what did you guys tell him about traffic?
We basically, we said basically that it needed to be looked at. I told him that I would talk to the deputy chief and the traffic officer to get any data that exists out there because it needs to be looked at. Because it's a vital piece of the puzzle.
Did you talk about both sides of the road, making a mini downtown?
We did, and I was trying to steer them in the direction of having a planned development district for essentially all three properties.
Cause we talked about a village district.
We did.
Yeah, that's probably the best word to use.
But their attorney,
People.
their attorney said, no, we just want to do it on this one property, so. that's-
See what happens, this is what they're gonna do, they're gonna try to. And I said, the package store building should be, it should be all updated on the outside, you need some new architecture. I don't want you to tear it down, but dress it up, make it match, and because both families own it. They should really, parking, the new parking lot lights on Brownstein's side should be mimicked on Sussman's side. Sidewalks should be installed on both sides. Tree plantings on both sides. We can really make this sweet. But Chris, that's why I want to bring Brownstein here, because I want to tell them all this stuff. But what they're gonna do, see, once they get their 60 units, bye. They're gone. We're never gonna have another chance to have them repair this area. We're never going to. We're never going to.
You think that number is excessive, 60 units?
Yeah, because he's gonna add a third floor to Carlton's. I asked him that question here. Are you using the same footprint? He said, yes. He's going up to get more units at Carlton's.
Yeah.
And so once they get their units in there, you're never gonna see Sussman again, and you're not gonna see Brownstein. Now is our chance, if you wanna redevelop this whole area and make it nice and pretty and slow traffic down and make it like a mini downtown, like who the hell says we're going to Ferndale Plaza tonight? No one.
Yeah.
And somebody said, Dave, call it Ferndale Square. Okay. Then it becomes, you got an ice cream shop, you got a bar, you got a restaurant, traffic. Well, it slows right down, because who doesn't want to take their kids there when people are buzzing through at 60 miles an hour?
So you're saying have one name for the whole complex?
No, I don't, like the name of the complex, like Ferndale Plaza or Ferndale Square. Yeah, I'm saying call that whole development, both sides, Ferndale, let's just say Square, you can call it whatever you want, you know.
Village.
Ferndale Heights, or Ferndale Village, I don't care what, call the whole thing there and make it like this mini downtown. Where one side helps the other side, you know? And now is our chance to have them fix the traffic. Now, they don't wanna fix the traffic, I'm sure, cause it costs money. You know what I mean? It costs money to put a light, go to DOT, get permission. It costs money. But my point is, you know, maybe Mark Sussman tells Bronson, I'm not doing anything. You're on your own, dude. You bought that. You know what I mean? I don't know. But, you know, if Brownstein talks to Mark, says we can really make this like a cool little downtown mini Blueback-ish, we easily rent our storefronts and our apartments. It really would be cool if we can slow the traffic down and make it like walkable.
Correct.
It could be fantastic. But I know what, you know, they want to get their 60 units and buy, we'll never see them again. You'll never see them again. You look at the light poles, the new light poles that were put in at Sussman's place, right? In the parking lot. They're the cheapest garbage you ever want to see. Go look, they're just junk. Whereas I remember when Stop and Shop came in, Ellen made them put in nice lights along Veterans, you know, she made them, you know. But I just think like Brownstein and Sussman talk, do they have any, now they may say, forget it, but I don't want them to go too far down the road without us telling them we're looking what we think. Now, the problem is, you know, Maureen's the boss and planning and zoning is the boss, not us. But like, if you ask me if I had a vision for that place, that's what I'd tell you.
I agree, and I love the idea of the roundabouts because we can make it pretty, you know, and connecting those two and make it something that is gonna say, okay, this is one area that you can stop by, enjoy yourself, live. It's great place to be.
Right, and all the neighbors that live around there could say, hey, let's go to the night, walk to the ice cream shop.
So the benefit that.
And I don't know enough about traffic on what to recommend, but they should be required to hire traffic professionals that can redesign and fix this for us.
Yeah, they will, and it's funny, actually, I did mention the name of traffic engineer, who's done a lot of work, living with Scott Heskett. And he will go through, he'll do traffic counts, he will look at safety, and they knew the name very much so.
And I would like to bring Brownstein back to have a discussion with him.
I wrote, invite Rich back.
I want to tell him all these things we're talking about. Now, he doesn't have to do it. If he may say, listen, I don't talk to Mark. We don't get along. He's my brother-in-law, but we don't talk. Okay, well then.
You know what? If you're gonna create an area that is in demand. And they could get their rent per square foot.
Yep.
And the apartments are going to be filled. Their investment will be worth it.
Yep.
Okay, but that's the whole thing.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I always wanted the expression, the sense of place to be explained to me. It kind of confused me at first, you know, but it was it creates an area or a place that you want to be there.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's the whole thing. You could live there, you might get a nice restaurant in there that at night you would go over and have a meal.
Yeah.
Or you might go over, have one drink and walk back home.
Well, you get something like that, you get the empty nester, the more apt it's getting, I'm gonna move over here, or something else. Opens up the house too.
Yeah,
You will never.
You gotta make it desirable.
Yeah.
I'll invite him back to the next.
If you don't
meeting.
slow the traffic down and fix the traffic, nothing's ever gonna happen there. It's just too dangerous. I wouldn't let my little kids, if I had little kids, walk on the sidewalk along, you know, in front of the package store when they're 60 miles an hour. They're right.
Yeah, I'll invite him back to the next meeting. So I'm slipping down a couple here because there's really not much to report on the next couple.
All right, so Sherwood Falls, we're gonna get Carrier down here.
Carry it down here, yeah.
Which one are you talking about now?
I'm going down to Gateways, Ocean State Job Lot. I never get a chance to talk to him,
Okay,
we theater, nothing happened.
So I wanna explain that. I was at Job Lot the other day, or a dollar store, whatever. I was in that lot, right?
Yep.
And I said, this is a big parking lot. Why don't we have pad sites? All right, so I told Chris, add it to the agenda. So Chris is not ready to talk about it, but just so you guys know. Like, you could have a little pad site for Dunkin' Donuts there, so Chris mentioned Dunkin' Donuts. There's a lot of, if you go there, that parking lot is never full. It's, yeah,
Yeah, alright.
okay,
It's more full over there by the
got a
Harbor
buses.
Freight.
Yeah. So Chris, you're gonna check about that movie.
Used to have a bad area.
Yeah, movie theater, really nothing.
Oh, yeah, there was a little,
Photo map.
yeah, it looks like the gas station, Stop and Shop little hut there where you pay your gas, right?
Yeah.
The movie theater we can skip tonight because Art talked about it.
Yep, and well, here's the other thing, so there is a relatively new player in Connecticut called Apple Cinemas. They have quite a few locations, and I don't know how, but I'm trying to connect with the agent who represents them to see if they might consider it. Again, the operator that currently, the operator's in Colorado, and so how much they care about Berlin, I don't know long term, but we'll see.
Okay.
Anyway, so what I did is I went out, I took pictures of all of the gateways
Oh, yeah, okay.
that we have. So just starting from the top here, near the baseball stadium, this would be coming southbound from Corbin Avenue. Pretty much all guardrails, so there's really not an opportunity there. Christian Lane, there's both space on the right and left, so I think that's probably a good option to consider. We'll start next to it. Mill Street on 9 South. So you have Mill Street 9 South.
Yeah, by the new Rebel Coffee place.
Yeah,
Right.
it's coming up the ramp.
We're going.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, yes, I was confused.
Vacuum
Yeah,
Village.
yeah, so the first picture, you're looking at the Berlin.
Let us tell you what picture you took.
Yeah, right. The second picture is if you're going towards Farmington Avenue, so I don't know, but I mean, you do have that big green area there.
The
Yeah.
triangle.
Yeah, so I think there is an opportunity there. Mill Street 9 North, East Berlin, which would be if you're coming basically from Rocky Hill and 91, and
Yeah.
you have the triangle right there in the middle. I think that's another one that has.
Well, what about across the street, Chris, like they did when you get off of the Park Road in West Hartford Center?
Oh, what's the end?
Yeah, not in the triangle. There's too much crap there already. Across the street, something like they did in West Hartford when you get off Park Road.
Yep.
And then when you stop across the road, it says, "Welcome to West Hartford."
Yeah.
We can take a look at it. I mean, it's.
That might
these
be-
things of, yep,
You know, if we're trying to have an impact, instead of putting a lot of little things that say "Welcome to Berlin,"
Yep.
like, are there a couple places where we
So
can?
I was thinking about that and if I can edge to pick, Chris' picture, unfortunately, we don't have a picture. Intersection between Mill Street, Sunset, and Berlin Turnpike, the odd property that has it always is growing with
Weeds.
weeds and we beg the town to clean it up. So I don't know who owns this property, but I was thinking, is the town owns that property?
no, I believe it's the state.
This is state? So I don't
30
know
seconds,
what's the
I'll go back in
law.
and take a look at it.
15 feet of it on the Sunset side is town property. And then the rest of it's state property
So town 1550 is town. so
Yeah.
then it's- Okay,
and it's state.
okay. So this is what I was thinking, and I don't know if you can accomplish this by law, but it would generate town money. And also serve this this purpose. So. I don't know what town use for landscaping in terms of company and beautifying, but that's the next thing I'm gonna tell you. Here, we could put it billboard sign. That would be generated by solar panels, that would bring money to the town, to the landscaping. Don't allow billboards. Can have it. How, so Newington can have it, we cannot.
Existing ones, yes, they will not allow new ones. We can bring it up, but no, they.
Even like this, beautiful with electric,
Electronic.
with solar panels, so it generate power and stuff. So the town will have the money from us businesses advertising in it. It's about $5,000-6,000 a month that we generate town with all the landscaping that we need.
Yeah, in my mind, it is worth a discussion, no question. I mean, I'm looking at it right now and it looks like the majority of it is state property there because I'm literally looking at this huge strip here.
Right.
That literally is very strange, to say the least.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's worth a discussion. I know there was a discussion at one point about a sign, let's say it was gonna be a sign in front of the fire department, which was informational signage or similar, but yeah, we definitely can look at it. That's not a,
That would generate. Revenue.
Yeah.
And
Well,
we
the-
need that property.
the only question is too, is would the state want a piece of it? It's property.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
We definitely look at it, so.
You know,
what I thought it too would have been nice? Is possibly a monument of the fallen firefighter from that died on the mountains. Just an idea.
Yeah, no, it's not a bad idea.
I mean, here it was, another town company, fireman died on Berlin site, An idea.
Yeah, so,
You're on page 2 now?
yeah, page 2, so the first one is if you're coming, 9 north, by the baseball stadium. Pretty much the majority of it's in New Britain, I don't think that would make a lot of sense to put there. Kensington by the baseball stadium, if you are going.
heading from Corbin Avenue.
Did I already hit that? Yeah, no, I think actually, no, and again, I think we put the same picture in here twice, so that's phenomenal, pretty hard about that. Anyway.
Yeah.
So a Berlin Turnpike 9 south, so if you're coming off of 9, turning onto either to take the turnpike to go north. Or if you go to the light and take a left and you get to Duncan, you have a big grass area there, but you also have.
Yeah, the guy that stands there all the time.
Yeah, that's no plan.
Exactly, and then.
Yeah, it won't be cardboard either.
Yeah, so, and then the one at the very bottom, basically.
I had money, I'd eat in Berlin.
That's right, yeah, right. And this last one here at the bottom, Shaler's on the left and Wheaton's on the left, so that has a grass area as well.
That
I think
is, which one is this? 9 frontage? Oh, yeah, by show.
Right, yeah, by Shaler, the right hand side there. I think there's opportunities we can take a look at it again. If we wanna do a lot of them, if we wanna do just one of them, I mean, it really depends.
We need to start out with some strategic ones.
Well, that's what I'm thinking, and again, it's more to give it to you guys to think about, we don't need to make all decisions tonight, I don't want to give it to you because it was brought up as something about importance.
Let me tell you what I would do here. Let me tell you what I would recommend. I think about that West Hartford sign, because if you go to that exit, it sort of, it hits you, you know what I mean? It hits you. Now, West Hartford doesn't have that same sign spread all over town. They do not. You know what I mean? That's the sort of like entrance sort of to their downtown area. A lot of cars go there, right? So they said, okay, that's what they picked, right? Maybe we do the same thing at the end of Christian Lane. When you get off Christian Lane coming south, there's land right across where the guardrail is, where everyone hits the crash of the guardrail once in a while when they go through the light. And maybe you do the same thing West Hartford did, similar, but you make it Berlin that says, welcome to Berlin at the end of the ramp. A big thing like West Hartford did, and then can all these little signs that you're gonna drop all over the place in town, because a lot of these pictures, there's signs everywhere. My thinking is one big one that has the impact, and you're sort of entering downtown when you get off of Christian Lane, and there's a lot of development going on there. Instead of all these little ones that we're gonna have to replace, they're gonna get knocked down, we're gonna have to replace them.
Do you think it makes sense to do one on the northern portion of town there and one on the southern portion, which would be, let's say, put it across the street, Mill Street?
Yeah.
So not in the triangle, but across,
Yeah.
so you see it right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't think, and I don't, yeah, let me see what we can figure out, we'll take a look at it.
Instead of, 10 little wooden ones that say, welcome to Berlin.
Yeah.
I think you get a little more oomph out of like a big one, like it makes more of a statement.
Which one gets more traffic? the Christian Lane or the Mill Street, you know, the exit that you take to Mill Street, especially right now when we have so many of those little businesses coming into Mill Street.
Yeah.
Which one gets more traffic?
I think when they go off of Mill Street and they're coming down, where you're talking about where Worthington Ridge crosses, most of them just hit the highway. And they just keep going, so I think you might be better off
At that Christian Lane?
at the Christian Lane.
Chris, I don't know if you have any thoughts on this, that this was something you and I were talking quite a bit
They come off.
about on it.
Come down the
And,
hill.
and then the, what do you call it, the exit, the old exit 21, coming off 9. Down to Mill Street,
That's what I was talking,
yes,
that's what I was talking.
that's a nice spot across the street.
Right, but I think most people, when they come off of there, they just come and get on the highway.
Are you talking about getting off on 72
No.
That
Worthington
route,
Or
Ridge,
getting off of
Street.
9,
at the ridge?
yeah. No,
No.
no,
Mill
right.
Street,
No.
What is that?
Mill
It's
Street
the old exit 21,
correct.
whatever it is
I
now.
was saying Mill Street, yeah.
Mill Street, yeah, you're not talking about by Rebel Dog Coffee.
No.
No, so he's,
Okay, yes.
right, because Pete's
What are
right.
you talking?
Coming down, heading north on 9 and taking the old exit 21, you come down to the old Route 72. And there's an overpass right there. 9 is the overpass.
Okay.
You go right across the
Like,
street.
like in East Berlin.
And if you kept
Yeah,
driving,
The bottom one on the first sheet there, yeah.
Yes.
and if you kept driving, you'd go into, Golden Triangle,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, we'll take that one, I'll take it.
Well, we're gonna talk with our own design, that Hartford one.
Yeah, no.
So.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, yeah.
we'll figure it out, okay?
It
Do that,
is nice.
Yep,
you
so,
know, that would make more sense.
yeah, we can
And
take a look,
then I wonder if we could do something with solar lighting.
we'll take a look at it, and once we kind of get our arms around the whole
It
thing.
just makes a statement.
Yeah, I agree. So town-owned properties, I sent the link over to everybody, I don't know if we had a chance to look at it or not.
You know what else, Chris? You know how we have those gateway signs?
Mhm.
The black and white ones say welcome to Berlin, we put those up, 20 years ago, not the green jobbers, when you're, right?
But
You-
about 8 years ago.
Okay, so you could have a monster. Welcome to Gateway sign, Berlin, that sort of looks like the street signs. Like
Well, 8
those,
years ago, it took like 10 years to decide what they're gonna do.
It took a while.
all I'm saying is the design for these, let's say, two things that are West Hartfordish. Could look similar to the gateway signs, the black and white ones with the ornate designs that say welcome to Berlin. But they just are much bigger. And so they sort of complement the gateway signs as you enter from Southington, from Meriden. Because they're all over the town, So I share that with you. Maybe our sign, because you don't want it to look like West Hartford. But we can make it similar to those gateway signs that are black and white and ornate, and they have the nice seal on it. They have that,
Mhm.
the red coat, the peddler,
Peddler,
the tin peddler.
Maybe peddler, yeah.
So, Yankee Peddler, so maybe that's the way you do it.
Turn it into a contest.
Correct,
There you go.
yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
what the hell are we doing now?
So I sent the link out to everybody to the document with the town properties, I wasn't sure if anybody had a chance to.
I didn't look at that.
Move that along then,
Can you, I looked at it, but I didn't open the link. So you sent us a complete list of all the town-owned properties?
yes, you can.
I tried to go there and look at it, said, how am I gonna open this? And then thought I couldn't.
If you tried to hit it and it didn't let you, send me an email, and then I just say yes, and you can take a look at it.
Okay.
Who was it saying that we should sell some of these properties?
Jack Healy, way back when, the owner of our old town managers.
Yeah.
He's the one who said, and he was a smart guy.
Saying they were useless.
We had a big discussion about it. So it's something we should pursue.
Yep.
And Pistol Creek is in that too. That's another one that, I asked you folks. I said, if you own Pistol Creek, the building, the clubhouse, what would you do with it? And we're late tonight, so we don't have to talk about that tonight.
Well, you know what, that would be something just to throw out to the council. To let them possibly think about that. And then if they're interested, then we can move forward on discussions. And find out the
I was
process,
gonna say,
commission to handle that.
I'd like it to be part of the bigger discussion if we can, because I don't want to do a one-off discussion with them, I'd rather have more coordinate. Again, I think it's important, but I'd like to do, well, we can discuss it. It's late.
All right, well, I guess the first step is for us to look at what you sent us.
Exactly. All right. So I was gonna look at probably a Thursday in mid-June at the Hawthorne, thinking maybe like a 4:30 to 6:30 on the Thursday. And then kind of where my thoughts were was we do a small little thing with some munchies, and then it would be like a cash bar. And then it would kind of be a Berlin networking, if you want to come down, see each other, meet each other kind of thing. Hawthorne.
You know what, Chris?
Yeah.
I've always liked the idea of getting together, but June, people are on vacation. They've got the kids are out of school. You may want to wait till after Labor Day, till the fall. It's summer,
I agree.
I don't think you're gonna,
We're gonna get checked with.
Good point.
We're gonna have good contact.
is that all right with you?
Yeah.
Even in September, October,
Some nice weather.
it's getting dark earlier, because let me tell you something, who the hell at 4:30 on a summer night when it's beautiful and the lights are on, you wanna go indoors? You know what I mean?
Last thing, just to let you guys know, so.
Yeah, kids are in sports, you're right.
So, there's a nice article that was in the Harper Business Journal on our farmer cow guys, so it's in the very tail end.
Oh, yeah,
I was reading, I didn't know that.
That's the last thing for me, and
Are they happy the way things are
done,
working there?
giving them recommendations, ideas, and I don't think they've done anything with them, but keep bringing ideas up to them, so. We'll see.
All right, commissioner comments, item 9. Anything? But we supplied everything tonight. I mean, I'm in a good way, like we went through it all.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
everything was good.
Good, beautiful. All right, then. Adjournment somewhere in this
I'll
table.
make that motion to adjourn.
Second somewhere.
All right.
Second,
Thank
any
you, man.
further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
All right.
Opposed, abstained, motion passes.
20 PM, thank you, everybody.
Thank you,
Have a great
Mr.
night.
Thank you.
Be well.
Brownstein won't make